Okay, I've got the ad up right here. Where the heck am I? Here I am, Joseph. I've got your ad up on a separate page, but I was looking at your writing. I didn't see any questions in here, so let's just go ahead and jump right over. Okay, the ad is really super busy, and that's fine if that's the aesthetic you're looking for. Right now, I think that we can make some improvements. I think right now there's a little bit too much going on in the ad itself, and I think by adding a lot of different colors and different shapes and sizes and images and different color treatments, I think what we're doing is we're kind of telling the viewer. So you've got a lot of different elements here on the page going, hey, look at me. Hey, no, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. So this is trying to grab the attention. This is trying to grab your attention. The colored fish are trying to grab your attention. This typographic treatment and this kind of like white kind of ghosted area, they're all saying, hey, look at me, and really competing for attention. Whereas what we want is we want the background image itself to kind of establish the foundational focal point for the ad. And then we kind of want to build off that. Remember all of the examples in the course announcements. Really super simple. One background image, one masked image, headline, subhead, body copy, contact information, and then logo. And we can see that it's just a wonderful formula. It works in the 6 examples or so that I have here. We just see it working time and time again. And the nice thing about this formula is that it preserves hierarchy. It allows the viewer to completely understand what's most important on the page and working from most important to least important based on the hierarchy. It's very, very successful. And the nice thing about this formula is it's really easy to transition to the banner. Now, if we jump into something like this is going to be really, really difficult to turn this into a banner. And the reason I'm saying that is because there's just so much going on. So let me kind of describe what I'm seeing. Okay, so the logo is distorted. So if we, and let me show you what I mean. If we take a look at the original logo, right there, that's the logo you used. And then let's take a look at the one. Okay, you see how yours is shorter and higher? It's not as wide and high, and it's higher, which means it kind of got squished. It got increased in size in its height and decreased in its length. That means that it's distorted, and that means that the original aspect ratio was not preserved when this was resized. You know how when you place it, you click it, and you get that bounding box around it, you grab that corner handle and drag it to resize it. You got to hold your shift key down when you do that. Otherwise, that'll constrain the original proportion. But if you don't hold that shift key down, you're likely to get some distortion. So that's how that happened. Also, in a style guide, as a graphic designer, you really shouldn't touch the logo at all. The logo is what you get, okay? So this logo has very much been altered. We can see there is no logo here that has dark purple type and a light purple logo. The closest one we see is this, which has light purple type and a dark purple logo. So what you've done here is you've altered the logo, and that's from the client style guide, and that's something that you would never, ever do as a designer. So what you want to do is you want to place the original logo in here, and don't add any drop shadows or don't add any frames around it, or just keep it exactly as you see it in the style guide. Okay, and then see those shadows behind, you don't want those either. So, okay, then we come to the general configuration of the ad. So we go, we've got a lot of different things. So this, and this are all kind of saying, look at me first. Then this at the bottom with the color red is also saying, no, look at me first. So you have a lot of elements on the page that are competing with each other as opposed to being presented in a harmonious way. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is a little bit problematic in that it's lacking a little bit in hierarchy. Now, where do we go from here? If you want to stay with this is fine. If this is the way you want your ad to look, that's perfectly fine. But I would recommend a couple of things. If you stick this route, I would not use this kind of transparency effect. Just stack these like Noelia said, like coins, and skip the drop shadow, okay? And just 3 images in a circular fashion like that. Then what I would do is I would say, instead of saying this is over here, then this is down here, and then you have watch your spelling, by the way. Scuba diving, complimentary drinks, day at the spa. There's no alignment here, so the same color indicates that these should be related, and they are in a way that they're kind of promotional elements, right? But they're incomplete thoughts. So what about scuba diving? complimentary drinks, day at the spot. Is this all free? Is that what this means? And then stay 6 nights, get a seventh night free. So my recommendation would be to take this type and combine it into a paragraph. Okay, that way you could have headline, subhead, then your paragraph of informational body copy. Then at the bottom here, you want to make sure you're using the required fonts. In all of your fonts, you want to make sure you're using the required fonts for in the style guide. That's Arial bold for the headline, Arial bold italic for the subhead, and regular Arial for the body copy. These aren't indicative of those requirements, so you definitely want to go ahead and change those. Now at the bottom of the ad, the red color and the big giant phone number, again, it's over at the bottom saying, hey, look at me first, look at me first. So we kind of want to ease back on that and kind of try to present it a little bit more minimally, something like this. You see what I'm saying? So I guess what I'm trying to say is this, is that I would recommend that you really simplify the ad. If you're not interested, if you want to keep the ad like this, then at the very least, I would recommend that we don't alter the logo, use the required typefaces, and don't use color red and these big giant numbers for the phone number. And just kind of try to take your lead from the way some of these contact informations are built, okay? And if you do want to change, my recommendation would be to find a background image and to configure this as recommended, where you have a headline, a subhead, a paragraph of body copy, the masked image, the main background image, the contact information, and then the logo. So it's really up to you where you want to go. But I just want to make you aware of some of the things that the reaction that this ad will garner. Okay, so at this point, I think it's really important to me anyways that you completely understand what I'm saying in the last 7 minutes or so. If you need any clarification whatsoever, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarification. Also, I don't recommend this kind of ghosted effect right here where this white area coming off the phone number. Again, that's just something that's trying to garner attention, but it's actually taking away from the overall composition. There's an old principle of design, and there's a few, and they all point to minimalism and simplicity in design. One is called Hicks' Law, and Hicks' Law indicates that typically a more simple solution is a more successful solution. The other one is called Occam's razor, and that indicates this: in a composition, every time you add something to a composition, you're taking away from what's already there. Okay, so that's why you just kind of want to be really careful in adding colors and different kind of combinations and things, because you're taking away from the strength of what's already there. Do you see what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. So let's say we put, this is a beautiful ad, right? You can't argue, it's a gorgeous ad. Let's say we took 5 pictures right here and we Polaroid square, and we kind of put 5 pictures right here, and we kind of stacked them some side on a diagonal, and we just kind of layered them 5 images and stacked them up right here, right on top of each other, so that they're showing kind of like this, only with squares. Could you imagine how that would take away from what's already here? I mean, the viewer would immediately be drawn to that and might end up missing some information. So do you see the point I'm trying to make is that everything should work together on the page. And I think by simplifying the ad, we can get there. Okay, I'm pushing 9 minutes. I think I've said enough. I think I've made my point, right? So if you have any questions at all, please let me know. All right, great. Thank you very much.